Hey, good afternoon, Josh with Content Marketing Media. So today I'm going to walk you through what I feel is probably the coolest coordination of different tech all at one time, for a common goal. So I've, cutely named it the ultimate research agent, but we're combining a couple different features here that I just think are pretty radical when it comes to, just outbound motions and lead gen and everything else. So I'm going to start off by first just taking a little time to explain Octave. I don't know if I've done that in the previous videos, but I just want to show you what Octave is and really why we're so bullish on it. So Octave, as you can see, has got some pretty big customers, and what they've done is just take and make go to market agentic, right? So I love this graph, and I'll just show you the outbound way to do lead gen in the past, even more at a complex level, is take a bunch of nodes like PowerPoint, document names, etc., come up with some templates, right, and then send emails, LinkedIn messages, etc. The new way, and this is what we do, right, is you take MQLs or target accounts or Gong recordings or research, website visitors, whatever, and you turn them into Octave agents. And Octave then you have this ICP identified powered messaging approach that is very specific toward the personas you're targeting, right? And so let me get you in and show you what I mean. So you go into the Octave dashboard and you build out playbooks. I'm going to just give you some examples of some that we built out, and they're very, very detailed. And you can have qualifiers and you can have overviews and you can have, just a library of different products and personas and use cases and reference customers. And then from all this, you develop agents. And so, quick crash course on agents. We've got sequence agents and template agents and agents that enrich people and agents that enrich company and content agents and qualified people agent, prospector agents, etc. Right. And so I have a whole bunch of agents, as you would expect. And I'm going to show you, just for example, the one we're going to use today, which is called a prospector agent. And, first and foremost, why this agent is so unique is because it already goes out and prospects for you, but they have built in functionality that it does lookalikes. And so you can take this agent and turn it into a lookalike agent. And I'm going to show you here what I mean. So this is our lookalike agent. I named it CMM. I've decided that I want to target any one of these playbooks that we built, which is a lot, as you can tell. And here's the personas, so the job titles. And as you all know, like, job titles aren't the same in LinkedIn. So you can do personas, but you can do exact job titles, fuzzy job titles. You want the CEO, but you don't want their chief of staff. You can exclude certain titles, do country filters, location filters, minimum follower filters, right? All good stuff. Now you could build this agent just to look for a single company, but what Octave has introduced, which is extremely powerful and game changing, is lookalike companies. And what this does is produce a list of lookalike people. And to take that even a step further, you could come in and say, like, look, I want to prioritize my lookalike search based off certain things like offering, the industry, employees, etc. This is how many I want per company, and this is the limit of what I want. And then I can exclude low quality leads, do smart filtering, etc. Multi-position people. So this is the agent that you're going to see today that's turned into a clay table. If you have Octave, you don't even need clay. I mean, you could come in here and run this agent yourself and then get your lookalikes, export it to a CSV. I like to put it in clay because then once I put it in clay, I can enrich it, or I can do things like I'm going to show you on the right side of the screen. And so here is that agent. We've imported it into clay, and you'll be able to see here, like, this is the prospector agent, and it's going to pull in information that I've dynamically populated in the clay table, right? So I just put canva.com. I said I wanted 3 leads. The Octave agent went out and pulled those 3 leads. And I will go through here and you can see the contacts and you can see all of the data that I got on those 3 leads. And you'll notice that they are from lookalike companies. So this is Adobe, right? Great lookalike for canva.com. And this person, if I didn't mention that, they're a senior marketing manager, which is in the persona that I defined in the Octave agent. So I want you to think about this for a second and think, this is not just a lookalike agent that someone built. This is a lookalike agent that you've matched to your playbook over here in the left in Octave, this thing over here called the playbooks. And it's very specifically matched to your playbook and your product. And it's the personas that you want, and Octave knows about these personas and has the details about these personas. So if I come in, I can look at all of the details very specifically about these personas, common job titles. I mean, it just goes on and on. But these are super powerful, hyper knowledge base agents. These aren't just, oh, some random lookalike that was built by some company. So that's why this is important. Now I'm sending this data in Clay to a search table, and I'm using the row feature to bring down this data. And now I have all of this data from the Octave agent, and I just put it in a table for you. And then this is where we kind of combine those features, right? So a couple weeks ago when O3 came out, we built a research agent. And I want to talk about this research agent because it is calling O3 directly. You can see it's OpenAI's model. I built it as a CMM agent, so a content marketing media agent, to do anonymous B2B demand gen and contact qualification. Now, to be fair, Octave has their own prospecting and qualification agent. This one is really, for me, built around signals. So I use this as an example because I built it to build a signal library, and you can read the prompt. You can see the JSON that we put in to build this. And by the way, we used O3 to actually build the prompt too. So some benefits of that. And it just goes out and looks and does deep research on, did they do a website demo request? Did they look at pricing page? What's their LinkedIn following? Have they have growth from G2? Have they gotten funding? Have they released press releases, right? So the power of combining this with Octave is really the idea that look at all these signals I can go out and grab. And I'm using, O3, which is somewhat of an agent on its own, and GPT to get this information. So, it's one thing to tell you, it's another thing to show you. So these agents go out, and as you can see, they go in, and here's the prompt detail, here's the completion token detail, here's their choices, and here is the output, right? So it's one thing, again, to tell you, it's another thing to show you. You can see right here that it's going and it's looking at WordPress, Google Analytics, and it's grabbing their tech. It's finding a fit summary. It tells you what they do. It's looking at different funding, media activity. It's scoring all of that, and then giving us the information that we need. So this is the nuts and bolts of the prompt, right? And then I take and use GPT Nano, by the way, or Mini, to really kind of get that information in a JSON format so it's usable. So this is just a little Clay prompting work that we did. And then I have what's called a fit and contact summary. So this just, this is why this particular person is the right person. And then I have details on why they are a good fit as well. So it tells you, hey, their growth stage, B2B, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And you notice, obviously, these are all unique. And then I have some of the signals that we picked up, right? So blog, recent activity, demo request, form, follower growth. And you notice these are unique, right? So it just shows you that it's working. And if I wanted to from here, right, I can enrich these people. So I could just as easily come in here and add an email enrichment, which I didn't do because I shared this table. But, I could find work emails really, really quickly, and boom, just like that, I could add this to the table, and I can go out and find this person's work email. And I could find their phone numbers and everything else. And just like that, it's running and going out. It looks like I need to feed it some info, which is fine. Like Lead Magic, I need to give it full name, company domain, etc. And it's going to go out and find email as long as I set it up correctly. That's kind of the drawback of doing this live. But at the end of the day, look, wrapping this up, I've built a playbook around our company. I've built in personas. Really doesn't take that long, but the better you do it, the more you work on it, the more accurate it is, the more valuable it is. I then take Octave's agents and go out and do person lookalikes. I mean, have you seen that on the market yet? Doesn't really exist. If not, it's just coming out. So in and of itself, just an amazing feature. And then I pull that into Clay with the domain that I want, and I bring back O3 based signal intelligence about these leads, right? So now I have hyper level personalization. I know what they're doing. I've got intent, signals, prospecting, Octave, Clay, all built into one simple workflow. But guess what? We're going to share. So we're going to share it with you. We'll include it in the description or in the comments, and I hope you find value in this motion. Thank you.